If you've been considering hiring a web designer to create a website for you, you need to take into consideration 3 questions that you need to be really clear on before you start talking to web designers so that you can find the exact right web designer for your needs. I'm Lori Reeves, founder of Brand Strength and the creator of Brand School. I'm obsessed with helping people change the world. I love to work with coaches, consultants, and other professional service providers, helping them finally reach their revenue goals by more effectively reaching the people who need them most. In this video, I want to talk to you about some things that I want you to keep in mind. As a former web designer myself, I've had a lot of conversations with people who have not considered the answers to these 3 questions, and it has really made a big difference in whether the time that I spent talking to them was well spent or if they needed to do some more digging before they even started looking for a web designer. So I just want you to think about these 3 questions so that if you want to find somebody, you're doing the work on the front end to start narrowing down the list of web designers early before you start talking to people and realize they don't actually have the skills that you need or they're not the right person for you. So question number 1, this is a biggie. Do you consider hiring a web designer to build you a website an expense or an investment? Now, it's kind of like that saying, whether you believe in yourself or you don't believe in yourself, you're always right. Whether you think you can or you think you can, you're right. Basically the same thing. So whatever you believe about this will typically come to be. If you think it's an expense, then what you're going to do is try to save money. You're not going to be thinking about strategy. You're going to do as little as you can and spend as little as you can. However, if you think of this as an investment, if you think of this as a way to strengthen the foundation of your business and accomplish the goals that you have for your business, you'll be much more focused on the return on investment that you will get. Now, remember what happens when you put money in as an investment. It can take some time to make that money back. However, if you just look at how much you expect to earn based on your investment, then you can kind of see how much you're willing to spend on something that is an investment. So if it's a website and you expect it to make you $100,000 a year, you should be prepared to spend anywhere from $10,000 to $20,000 on that website. But also remember that a website is typically good for 2 to 3 years before you really need to overhaul it and do it again. So if you're spending that $10,000 to $20,000 on your website initially and you expect it to make you $100,000 in that first year, then in years 2 and 3, you're not going to have that investment on the front end, but you are going to reap that benefit. So if I told you you could spend $20,000 to make $100,000 and be sure about that, then you would probably do that 9 times out of 10, maybe 10 times out of 10. But you do have to keep in mind that you need to have a good strategy, and somebody who sees building websites as an investment in your business is going to take you through a different process than someone you hire to just build a website. You're treating it as an expense. You're treating them as a pixel pusher. They're just there to bring your vision to life, but not necessarily help you walk through what that vision is and how to bring it to fruition best. So that's the first question. Do I see this as an investment or an expense? Question number 2 is, what is your website goal? Okay, are you just trying to provide information to people, collect their email addresses, and maybe get them to commit to a consultation with you so that you can go deeper with them and see if they're a right fit for you? Or are you wanting this to be something that is just showcasing the products that you have and you're trying to collect orders so that you can fulfill those orders? Those are very different websites. The features are very different. The way it's built is very different. The amount of time that it takes to build something like that can vary. So I want you to think about that before you start, and remember that different web designers have different skill sets and they have different experience sets as well. So if you really want an e-commerce site, you need to be thinking about talking to somebody who claims that that is what they do. They're an expert at building e-commerce sites. Whereas if you're really wanting something that's more of a brochure site that helps people get information about you and learn how to contact you so that they can develop a deeper relationship, if you hire somebody who's typically doing e-commerce sites, they may not have the knowledge of the way to lead somebody through psychologically to help them build trust in you. So keep that in mind, because who you hire will radically be different depending on your different needs there. The third thing I want you to ask yourself is, do I need custom functionality? Okay, are you going to need a forum on your site? Are you going to need to be able to track things that happen specifically so that you can pay out information or so that you can gather things from people? That might be custom functionality that not every web designer has at their disposal to be able to do for you. So the clearer you can be on what exactly you envision your website doing for somebody, that will help you start to narrow down the field of who you can talk to about hiring them as a web designer. Now, if you need super specific customizations, you might need to hire a web developer instead of a web designer. So some people call themselves both. Some people call themselves one or the other. A developer is much more typically going to be writing custom code and creating websites that are more specific to the company that's requesting that they be built, instead of a web designer whose biggest objective is trying to make the information that you provide them look really nice and be presented well on the screen. So just keep that in mind as well. So if you've been thinking lately that you need to hire a web designer, I want you to ask yourself these 3 questions. Do I see this as an investment or an expense? What is my main website goal? And do I need custom functionality? Those 3 things are going to help you start weeding through the list, the never-ending, it seems like, list of web designers out there, so that you can really narrow your search and find somebody who has the skill set that you're looking for and the mindset that you're looking for. Again, if you want somebody who's going to be as cost effective as possible, that's a very different scenario than if you want somebody who's going to partner with you to develop something that's going to help you strategically build your business. I hope this was helpful for you. Again, I'm coming at this from a prior web designer background, so I have a little bit of experience for you. If you want more tips and tricks on understanding how to build a solid brand foundation or the mindset that's needed so that you can find success, I'd love for you to subscribe and come back so that you can see all the videos that I post every week. I hope to see you again soon. Talk to you later.